Ag Tire Talks, Driving Yield Through Tire Technology, sponsored by Michelin Agriculture.
James Tussner with Ag Tire Talk here. I'm with Dave Pock, Manager of Field Technical Ag for BKT. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, James.
All right, so JCB, always known for having some of the fastest machines on the planet. You know, you've had this OE fitment for a while. This is a new, there's some new OE fitments for the Fast Track 8330 we're going to talk about today. So let's kick it off. You've got two scenarios, right? You've got a V-Flecto offering and an Agramax Force offering. So the very first offering is a VF 710-60R42 173D E option and a VF 660R38 168D E option V-Flecto. So talk us through those tires, why those were chosen for this particular OE fitment, and give us a couple features and benefits of why these are a good fitment for this JCB.
Okay, so the V-Flecto is our top of the line VF tire.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we made that tire with VF technology for agriculture and for other things like running, like hauling manure carts, you pull a manure cart, wagons or silage carts or things like that. So the tires, they rode pretty good. I mean, we don't really have any problems with them roading. They ride good and they handle well and they pull good in the field. So that's a big plus. That's a big plus for the especially for JCB users.
I encourage everyone to take a look at these V-Flectos because, you know, as I've seen BKT's products lines evolve over the years, you know, this is a very sophisticated offering, down to the stampings, down to the, you know, the whole carcass, the way it's developed, even down to the name, you know, V-Flecto, totally different than what we used to do with just 3 RT 855 or whatever it happens to be. So this really does, just from an appearance standpoint, it is a cut above anything that I remember seeing from BKT, really a top-notch looking offering. So we've got the V-Flecto, 173D load index on the rear, 710-60R42. You know, if a guy's really needing to do some really heavy weight hauling, you also have another option. The rear tire being an Agramax Force IF 950R42. So why don't you take us through that second option scenario? 950R42 rears and 650-65 R34s, and why you're giving the producers that option.
Okay, so the IF Force is a tire that we've had out for a while. JCB is using those as a setup on their tractors. The 950 is a much wider tire, so it has more air capacity, and it has more weight carrying capacity.
Larger air chamber.
So yeah, larger air chamber. So if a user is pulling something, grain carts or silage carts or manure wagons or whatever with heavy tongue weight, then the 950 is rated to carry more weight than the V-Flecto is.
Amen.
So that seems to do better with the heavy tongue weight applications.
Makes sense because the V-Flecto offering rears a 173 load index, whereas this rear offering in the IF 950R42 is a 180D. Lends itself to that larger air chamber. Just for our listeners as a reminder, anytime you can enlarge that air chamber, that means you can carry more weight, right? So that's a very big deal, and that you can see that by just the section width and the aspect ratio and the rim diameter. So thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Okay, so really the decision is pretty simple for a producer. I mean, if you want your latest offering and you're not pulling those super heavy tongue weights, great. Let's go with the V-Flecto, your premier VF rated tire, right?
Yes.
If the application is a little bit heavier weight with those big tongue weights, then pivot to the Agramax Force with the rear IF 950R42, all of which are D/E speed rated to handle those high speeds that the fast track has that are in the 40s. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yes.
Any other features and benefits you'd like to talk about on this particular tire or couple of tires?
You know, the only thing that I would say is in the V-Flecto, we make a full range of offering in V-Flecto. Yes. We make a lot of different sizes in that, and all of them perform well. So that was one of the reasons that we kind of swung that way with the JCB. the IF Force has been around for a while, and again, we've sold a lot of those too. So it's a very good performing tire. What I would say the difference between the two is, though, for someone listening, is that the IF 950/42 max air pressure is 35 psi, whereas in the Vflecto it's 23. So air pressure carries weight, and so the more air pressure you can run, the more weight you can carry. So that's kind of the difference. That's basically the difference between the two.
I understand that completely now. Thank you so much, Dave. And that's a wrap. Thank you.